Welcome back, everybody, to Beyond the Pine, episode 56 of the podcast, where we talk about current events, current political events, and we decide, what's right and what's wrong in this current climate.
Everybody needs another opinion about a white man, a white cis man.
And what's cool is that we actually change political tides in the country.
Dude, I got Trump in the office.
And we're going to get him
solely
out.
by word of mouth.
We got Trump in and we're going to get him out.
I'm Steven Suptic.
James DeAngelis.
Clayton James.
Mimi Torres.
You should say Broken James.
Clayton
Broken James.
I'm James Regular. I'm Broken James Regular.
I'm Supreme James.
That's taped up James.
And I'm Robot.
And I am Robot James.
And I am Robot.
And I am Robot Grapes.
Robot Grapes.
I'm the James like Superman. I'm the James that was in the sun for 10,000 years just charging up energy.
You're getting your spirit bomb and you're going to miss once it's fully
God
charged.
level.
Timothy Green.
We have
soaking up the sun.
We have a couple sponsors for the podcast. I just want to give a quick shout out to Bespoke Post and NordVPN. Thanks. Thank you guys for sponsoring the podcast.
NordVPN or Nordstrom's VPN?
Yeah, Nordstrom's VPN. They're branching out. We have our very first sponsor. We'll talk about NordVPN towards the middle of the podcast. But right now, Kib's going to bring you guys some news about Bespoke.
Thanks, Bespoke Post, for sponsoring the podcast. We love you and appreciate you. Let me get my Bespoke Post box. This is really nice.
Yeah, I think we're going to keep that for the office and put over a couch.
Oh,
That's
this
for a
smells
nap.
good. This smells like everybody's grandpa's.
Dude, we should put it on this couch.
When you're constantly on the go, grinding away at work or out with your friends, there's not much time to think about upgrading your style or apartment. That's why I love getting hooked up by a box of awesome from Bespoke Post. Every month, these guys are out scouting for quality and unique products to send me. Now you can experience it too at boxofawesome.com. To get started, visit boxofawesome.com and answer a few short questions that will help them get a feel for the boxes that'll go best with your style. Because they send you a bunch of different boxes that have different things based on, obviously, the answers you put down, your interests and stuff like that. We're very woodsy and gamesy and blankety, so we like to have all those kind of goodies.
Yeah, we have blanket desires.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a fun pop quiz about yourself.
Whether you're in search of the perfect drink, a well-kept pad, or jet-setting in style, Bespoke Post improves your life one box at a time. Each box goes for under $50, but has more than $70 worth of unique gear waiting for you inside of it. Just go get one. The first of each month, you'll receive an email with your box details. You'll have 5 days to change colors or sizes or add extra goods to your box. If you're not feeling that month's box, then simply skip it. From barrel aging kits to limited edition cigars, weekender bags to classy DOP kits, Bespoke Post offers essential goods and guidance for the modern man. To receive 20% off your first subscription box, go to boxofawesome.com and enter code PINE at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com/pine.
Fine.
For 20% off of your first subscription. Bespoke Post, themed boxes for guys that give a damn. And I'll tell you what, we give a damn.
I love Bespoke
We do.
Post. That's such
Truly.
a cool sponsor.
So
Dang.
fun. There's a lot of different subscription boxes out there, but Bespoke Post actually is like the best
Useful
one. They
stuff.
send
It's
you like
very-
real
yeah.
stuff.
Luxurious,
Real,
cool, like unique stuff that you
useful
wouldn't,
stuff.
you wouldn't even know what to search up in order to find like these items. They're just more like novelty stuff that's luxurious or good for style, stuff like
But
that.
it's like real stuff.
Mhm.
I've had other subscription boxes, and they kind of send you like stickers and just like
Yeah.
bullshit that you
That's 'cause
never
you
end
ordered.
up
That's because you
using.
ordered sticker box.
Yeah, but stickerbox.post.bespoke post is dope.
I wonder how many people have gotten a Bespoke Post box and have found their like calling from some of the weird shit that they didn't know they liked in it.
They're like, oh, blacksmithing.
You know what I mean?
They got sent a forge.
There's a blacksmith in here.
Got a pickaxe, and now you know what? I've got my own mine shaft.
And you know what? I started making Minecraft videos once again.
Classic Bespoke.
Speaking of which,
I had to take an Uber here this morning. I just want you guys to know that.
It's because you woke up late.
Are you
Because I woke up
I
late.
offered to drive you.
Yeah,
See how nice and accommodating we were?
you were late, so you took an Uber instead of driving your
I
own car?
don't have my own car with me. It's in the shop right now.
You told me this.
He may or may not have destroyed it, disassembled
No, it's not
it.
because I disassembled it. It's because it was. I'm getting some different upholstery inside. I'm getting a Alcantara headliner.
No,
Did
I
you
remember
fix-
what happened. You told me that you were working on your telekinesis and you were sitting near your car, and then you started really meditating really hard and getting really into it, and then you opened your eyes and your car was completely disassembled in the air.
Yeah.
And you tried in an instant to combine it, but
That's
some of
right.
the pieces didn't
It
quite
couldn't,
fit.
and I was inside of it, and I didn't want to risk,
For some reason, you were unable to remember exactly where every piece went because you were having.
And we have to
you
go
were having
find
a
it with a
fever
Dragon
dream.
Ball radar.
Yeah. When he put it together, the steering wheel was actually under the hood.
under the hood. Yeah,
Under the hood.
but the Uber ride home last night was exactly the kind of Uber ride that we make fun of on a regular basis.
Great.
You know, let's just do a brief breakdown. I'll
be the Uber driver.
I'll be the Uber driver. So I'm driving you guys, and this is exactly how it goes. Oh, Woodland Hills. What are you doing out here? This is a long drive.
I work out here.
Yeah, I also work out here.
Oh, you guys. I was gonna ask if you went to school. Yeah. What do you guys do?
We work for like a YouTube channel.
Just make like a little show. Just have fun.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Yep.
And then it'll be silent, probably for about 30 seconds or so, and then what's your channel called?
Oh, hold on, I'm getting a call.
It's just Sugar Pine 7. Just on YouTube.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, my son actually, he has a.
Actually, I need to take this call if you don't.
My son actually has a YouTube channel.
Cool.
He does motorcycle videos. He's about 38. I'm 80. I have 80 friends on Facebook. Are you guys on Facebook?
No, I deactivated mine. I had to hang up on the phone though because it was a really important call, and I asked you if you.
Hey, idea. Can we listen to the radio?
So what do you guys want to listen to?
Just anything. Turn it on.
My son actually goes to
the radio. Do you want to do the radio too?
Here. He does YouTube on the side. Yeah, he makes these motorcycle videos that. He takes them apart, puts them back together.
Not bad. Do you want to just throw on the radio?
Sure. What do you guys like to listen to?
Just anything. 98.9.
If you wanna be my lover.
So, is this okay with you guys? Do you want water or anything?
Yeah, no, it's all good.
I'm all right.
You're fine with this music or anything?
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna change it over to another station.
Okay.
If you wanna be my lover.
Oh, wow, okay.
You gotta get with my friend.
Okay, I'm gonna change it to another station.
It's fine.
If you wanna be my lover.
All right, so that sounds good. That's a different one.
I have an aux cord, or if you have an aux cord, I can plug it in my phone. I can plug it in my phone.
No. Oh no, this is an older car. It doesn't have an aux cable. You know what it does in the glove box? Let me just.
Whoa, dude, come on.
Easy, eh?
Oh, I missed the turn.
God, dude.
My maps aren't connected.
Just use maps. Just use maps.
I don't have a connection over here. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to stop. Is it okay if I actually fill up on gas?
No, we're really late. So if you can we can get out here actually.
Okay. Is it okay if I go to the bathroom? I have to lock the back doors.
He starts shitting himself in the car.
I need you guys in here for this.
Here, look at me. Look at me.
I can't poop on myself.
So
I'm about to earn those 5 stars.
Some Uber drivers, and I think maybe Jamie did this as well, because you could imagine it when I think Jamie did Lyft or
I
Uber.
drove for Lyft.
Yeah. Oh. Imagine being stuck in the back of the car with Jamie as the Lyft driver. That's a nonstop conversation for the whole ride.
Yes,
did you
sir.
eventually put something in your car whether or not people wanted to talk?
Yeah, I had a sign that was like, don't feel weird about not talking.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, for real?
Yeah, because if you walk in, there's always that pressure to be like, how's it going? And that's so uncomfortable. So
I think if you just get to that point, because like I remember I felt like I had to talk to the Uber driver, but now I just get in and I just shut up and I sit down and I look out the window.
Yeah.
Last night, this guy who drove us home from the airport was like singing, but really try hard singing, but trying to make it seem like he wasn't, but was really trying to let us know that he had a good voice.
Was he good?
Oh, he was not bad, but like.
But don't do that.
Did you start singing with him?
Then we get out. I was like humming. I was just like.
Was it the song that was on the radio, or was it just silent and he was singing?
It was the songs that were on the radio, but
Okay.
he was putting them on specifically.
Why is he expecting a scout to be in the back of his car?
Well, here's the thing. We get out, and he's like taking my guitar out. He's like, "Oh, you musician? Do music?" I'm like,
dude.
"Oh, yeah." He's like, "What kind of music?" I was like, "Oh, just like indie rock and like singer-songwriter stuff." "Oh, pretty cool. I'm a musician as well. My Spotify's dirty nasty something like it was really like dirty DJ,
Dirty nasty ducky dick.
It was something funny like that,
Dude.
I was like, cool. He's like, "Yeah, you should check it out. I'm the only one."
The worst
I was
is
like-
aspiring artists. Like we had a guy who really wanted to be a comedian. He really wanted to be a comedian, and his
Mike Falzone.
It was
Was he practicing his Type 5 in the car?
dude. It was much longer than that. It was a very unfortunate amount of time that we spent in the car.
So,
he called me. He called me while we were like coming out of a party or something like that, and he called me while we were in there, like right after he landed, and he was like, "Hey, so I killed your Uber driver, and I'm the murderer, and I'm going to drive you guys around. The driver's in the trunk."
Oh, fuck.
And
dude.
I'm looking
That's
at
an
Mimi.
idea I had for a short film.
That's not
Well,
funny.
I looked at Mimi and I was like, okay, this is a red flag. Like, do we want to not do this? He's like, no, it's fine. But we get in there and he keeps with the joke the whole time. And the entire way
Dude,
through,
that's too much.
he's like making jokes about how he's going to kill us. and he's like trying to be funny the entire way and stuff. And we made the mistake of being like, oh yeah, we're producers. And then it was like, oh yeah, I'm with an agency and I did this. And
when did this happen?
This was an Oscars party or the last like awards season.
That's so
You guys
dumb.
are producers? Were you talking about this show?
Am I gonna choke you?
Wait, were you actually talking about this show?
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God. It's just funny, like, saying that you're, when you do YouTube, saying that you, like,
Well,
you know,
we make
direct.
films. Like,
no, yeah, but it's just saying that and then them figuring out what you actually do and then realizing it's YouTube. Because I've done that before where but by mistake, because I just didn't want to say YouTube because that leads to a conversation. And
Did you say filmmaker instead?
You know what the best way works?
I think I said producer. Like I produce online content, something that's like so vague and so boring. At least it sounds so super boring to me.
Right.
But then eventually the conversation led back to yeah, so it's YouTube. And then when you say that in the beginning and then you eventually say, yeah, I do YouTube, I do a comedy channel, we do videos like vlogs, and then you say all that, it just negates every good perception they had of you.
Here's the good way to do that, to just set the bar a little lower, but higher than where that ends up, is saying we do a comedy show on YouTube. Because then when you saying show means that you're not just making fucking videos.
Yeah.
Because videos and a show are two different things, I think. I mean, we do just
I
make
agree.
videos, but we treat it like a
it's a
show.
show.
And it is a show, and the ship runs like a show, and its vehicle is obviously a vlog, but like it's a show.
Yeah.
And so like saying like we do a comedy show on YouTube, and we work for a company and blah, 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 you know, have an office, like you can describe it like that.
I'll
then
tell
they go,
them what my salary is.
oh, look, we took $253 million a year, and it's like,
Make 253 cars a year.
but try that next time, see if that gets you anywhere. If it ends up still being like, oh, YouTube.
Dude, it was a $45 Uber drive here this morning.
Oh
It's
my
just
God.
ridiculous. And
Dude,
it took
I never
like,
take Uber. After like trying to like drive for Lyft and Uber, it was like the difference was incredible. Like Uber is such a sleazy company.
Really?
I'm not.
well, it's better than a taxi though.
I can't afford.
Anything
As a
better than
consumer,
taxi.
Uber and Lyft are the same thing.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Well, it's becoming like the word Google or Band-Aid. It's like that's I'm gonna Uber there, even if you take a Lyft.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So do you guys think like, you know, there's an argument when they add AI or just autonomous technology that takes away jobs. Are you guys for the people that lose their jobs, or are you guys of the mindset that was just, it's natural selection?
Here's the thing. I think that it is natural selection. I agree with that. It is what it is, and we can't stop it. And I don't think that it's like rallying together to try to stop it. Like that's not really progressive either. But it does suck. I feel bad for the people that lose their jobs, but that's the industry that they're in. You know what I mean? It sucks. It's definitely shitty, but I think that like it's bound to happen. If I was in that position, then I would just, you know, try to figure it out.
Because I'll be honest, I don't feel bad for people that drive taxis at all.
I don't
Do
think
taxi
that-
drivers are?
They could be trying to get somewhere. I like to
They're
imagine that
mean
people are
out
trying
here.
to.
I don't think that that's
taxi
natural
drivers.
selection though.
No, it's just a progressive society,
Like
right?
somebody losing their job because the corporation decides to automate a certain department. I don't
Yeah.
think that's natural selection in the same way that like is the fast or the strong animal going to, you know, survive.
Maybe I shouldn't have said natural
Because that's within the
selection.
same
Maybe
species.
I mean,
yeah.
Survival of the fittest.
survival of the fittest. Does that make more sense?
Still
Yeah.
no, because like survival of the fittest, because is that meaning if that person survives, are they holding that same job? Are they getting back on their feet after they lose that job and getting another job and thriving, or what does that mean?
Okay, capitalist natural selection then. God damn it. Like
I-
when
okay?
yeah, it's just I have fucking grease on my goddamn glasses. You know what I'm trying to
So,
say though,
I know what
right?
you're trying to say. So basically just, are you for progression in society or are you for jobs? Like, because I feel like progression will happen with both, but one's going to make
Well,
it
I think
happen
there's
in a
I mean,
different
it's
way.
talk about the
True.
coal industry, for instance. A lot of people are like, why is the coal industry still around? But then there are other people that would feel bad and that are obviously trying to keep those jobs, and the people higher up trying to keep the coal industry active, even though it harms the planet to no end.
Well, the people, that's like
It's making money.
it's basically like, now that the coal industry is so big, now it's been huge for forever.
It's finally big.
Now that, or since the coal industry is so big, that's now an argument that the people who are trying to keep those companies going and that industry alive can use. Oh, if you get rid of this, it's going to make all these people lose their jobs. But that doesn't mean that that industry shouldn't be switched over to solar or something like that. That's a more like sustainable thing. So that's like using that argument for a bad reason. It's like saying, oh, well, we want to get rid of all cigarette factories. Oh, but all these people are going to lose their jobs. That's like not right. You know what I mean? But it's like, well, cigarettes fucking suck. But it's still using that argument of like all these people are going to lose their jobs to support that
So
staying around.
You mean just that analogy was bad because it harms the planet? So
No, I think I was making a side point because I understand what you're trying to say, but I think that it's important for jobs to stay with people and not automation, except for like certain things that have to be automated.
The economy could be so fucked if it was like a dramatic
because
change
then
like
then
that,
the money's
everybody.
The money's going to go to the people that are making the machines that are building things, and it's going to go to the company. So it's going to be a much more major profit for the company that's automating everything.
Well, what happens when all Ubers and taxis and everything are replaced by autonomous drivers, and it's just you get in, it's just a robot driving the car?
It's going to be in quite a while.
I'm all for like.
It's closer than we think.
I don't think
it's sooner than 15 years.
Oh no.
I don't view. I think I'm always for progression because I feel like it's inevitable and
I agree.
It holds
inevitable.
everything back. It's like when you look at the
but social and
it's the
like
route,
economic
the route.
progression are two different things.
True. Yeah, I guess
like not like a social cause. This is for like people still having jobs, which I think doesn't fall into the same idea of like social progression.
What I mean is I think that I just in my career I've had to.
Don't worry, Mimi's not over there.
Okay. All right. So here's what I think. I think in my job I've had to like completely start my career all the way over so many times that I have a more liberal idea of like having to remake myself. So I kind of, if you're holding back technology or progression or something because you want to make more money or you're worried about jobs or I don't know, I have a weird time with that because I know that you can get into a different field or whatever.
So here's where I'm gonna counter you. We don't have to worry about this kind of thing. We're in a creative industry. At least it would be some weird nightmare if we did have to worry about this, of robots taking over our jobs. So I don't know if, what do you mean change fields exactly?
Well,
do you mean from a creative industry to another creative industry?
No, when people
film to YouTube?
No, when people get concerned about what's difficult for me is the fast food workers and that kind of job being replaced because those jobs are often very important and it's for people who don't yet have skills or just couldn't afford to go to school and didn't get skills and stuff. So like I feel weird about taking those kinds of jobs off the table for people because I know that would hurt.
It may be their only option,
right?
Sort of
and that's the kind of thing that I wrestle with. But when it comes to stuff like taxis. I guess that's a similar situation, but I don't know. I think that it's important to like progress, but
in that sense, you could drive Uber or Lyft as long as you have a car that's, I guess, newer than like 2003 or something.
Like I couldn't prior to like
2011
leasing.
now,
or you get a. It's
I think it's 2003 or 2004.
2011 was a
not
different tier.
Yeah.
But so if you have a car that's newer than that, you can drive for Uber or Lyft, and that's arguably making more than you would be minimum wage, depending on how much you do it.
You have to really hustle with it. That was the thing that I noticed was that what happened for me was like I would drive and I would have to get like repairs on my cars and stuff, and I found that all of the money I was earning was going to gas and going to repairs. So it didn't, for me, I wasn't making as much as I needed to justify doing it personally, but I could see if you are in good shape with your car and that's all you do, which I have met a lot of people who that is all that they do. They get up at 6 and leave at 10 p.m.
Like when it says on a Lyft ad on a bus stop, it says make $1,500 a week, but it doesn't say that or $1,500 a month or whatever. But it's like, yeah, that's if you drive over 12 hours a day.
Yeah, and a lot of people do. But like it's also, you can destroy your car that way. If you get in an accident, that's your whole livelihood. So that's the thing that scared me.
Going back to Steve's initial thing with that real quick, I have a question for like everybody, what you think. Is it the like owners of these companies and these industries, the people who like kind of make those decisions, is it their responsibility to look out for the best interest of all those jobs and like that industry and that like scale of jobs, or is it in their best interest to look out for their company and themselves? Did they do this knowing that they have to take on that responsibility, or is that not their responsibility? Because then that determines, sorry to interrupt you there, then that determines whether or not like that's okay or not. It doesn't matter what we think, because it is they run that industry. They choose whether to invest in robots. Does that save them money because it's their company and that's what they work for? Or are they responsible for these people and they should be
number one's always going to be your own company.
Well, that's the two
and that's
things
when it's
right
like
there.
not even our.
That's basically the two sides of the economic side of politics. Is capitalism, your company, you made it, your money, your say, right, underneath certain regulations and stuff. And then there's the other side of it, which is the social responsibility that you have. And I personally see value in both, because I think that if you become a force, like a massive company of any thing that you make, then by becoming so big, you naturally take on a responsibility of really affecting and influencing the job market. If you have 5,000 jobs plus, then that's like now an impact on employment in the country.
I totally agree, and that's
so,
just like our mindset on it. And that's the thing, like there is no like rule or guideline, and maybe there should be regulations that protect those type of jobs, or maybe that's politics right there.
I'm sure there are, but then I was going to say I also agree with, if you make something and you truly started from the bottom with a company, small business, and then that business
why
started
should you have
blooming.
to think about anyone other than yourself, kind of thing?
Yeah, it's just like
to
one of those
degree,
things where both need to have somewhat of an equal like importance.
I think that there should be roots, because like that guy who started that company from the ground is he's huge influence as to who has jobs and thousands of people. Like he didn't. If he went into that knowing that someday I will have a responsibility, maybe that would be different. But if he went in just going like, I'm going to kick ass and make a company and fucking kill it, and then now he just happens to be in a situation where all those people are counting on him for a job and he has to make that choice to invest in himself or invest in like the economy, then that's like harder. And that's when you go like, well,
I think it depends on the situation. I think if you have a company that you have an idea that's truly progressive, something that's going to push society even further, I would go ahead and do it.
But how do you know? Who's to say?
If
how do you
you're
know
in charge of it, you get to say.
Yeah, but I mean, you said like if it's going to change society, but you don't know if it's good or bad.
Well,
there's no way.
Think about this: you replace all of the Ubers and taxis with autonomous drivers, you're probably going to cut down on accidents tenfold. I mean, there was this video that showed a Tesla that was driving autonomously, and it saved them because they weren't able to see a car that was coming up from the left lane, and it was going to merge into them, and the car was able to sense that and then move over to the right into the off-ramp area. And that just moments like that
but then you have to weigh how many lives do you save by doing that you're killing because now people can't have jobs.
You're not killing people by doing that. You're killing people by having more people on the road that get in accidents. I think that's more important.
That's
why they added
choice.
I think it's the same thing for me as when they added seatbelts to cars. Like, it was a no-brainer, but I learned about this in the Joe Rogan podcast. Did you guys see that with Elon Musk? My God. It was scary. There's a real thing in that about progression. Supposedly Elon Musk is trying to make a company.
Before we get onto that, because we're still talking about this, because I know what you're
I'm very
start
interested in
talking
that.
about,
Yeah, but
we'll get to that after. Like, finish the point you were making.
I mean,
because I also had something I wanted to say.
Okay, well, it was at the seatbelt thing. It's like they added seatbelts to cars, and that didn't get rid of anyone's jobs, but there was no point.
Yeah, the guy who holds you in the seat.
But real quick before your point, just to reiterate my point to Steve, like, how many lives are ruined by not having jobs versus the lives that are like saved because of your point of the autonomous driving? You know what I mean? I think you have to like run those studies and test and weigh that before you can just say, it'll probably save more people. You know what I mean? You can't just be like, more people will be saved. I don't know. I mean, that's my opinion.
I think like the percentage of accidents caused by Uber, Lyft, or taxi drivers versus total accidents that happen, and if that number is
probably
even relevant,
less than the average person driving.
I would say probably it's safe to say that nowhere near as many accidents are caused by Uber drivers
because they have a responsibility to be
drivers.
More safe, right?
You know,
yeah. It's interesting. There's so many factors that go into it, and
for me, like there's like no way for me to have any.
Wow,
pterodactyl, my bad.
I don't have any like knowledge about economics, so I can't really speak to like what the best thing to do is. But just from my
I studied macro and micro, baby.
From my ignorant perspective, I have a hard time with companies that withhold progression because they're trying to save their bottom line. And I I also struggle with doing the same thing just for the sake of keeping jobs, and that seems a little heartless. But like I kind of feel like there's this thing that was happening with in the computer industry with Intel was basically gimping their processors and just releasing a slightly better version of the same 4-core processor for like
They still do it.
years and years and years. And then AMD was like, no, fuck you. And they finally dropped something that started competing. And then Intel shit the bed and had no idea how to, is trying to play catch up, but they're still screwing their customers by overcharging for shit that they should have started putting out years ago. And it's like,
I love AMD, son of a bitch.
Dude,
I mean,
Intel's
Intel,
done
sorry.
some terrible shit.
Intel.
AMD
Really?
has been fucking killing it, and I goddamn love that company. Shout out to
Dude, didn't Intel try to sabotage AMD back in the day?
Really?
Yeah, they've
Holy shit.
Intel has really not had I'm not a big fan of Intel lately. Like they are really trying hard to just like withhold as much as they can. Where AMD is genuinely pushing boundaries.
I think I just like the product. I don't know any of this backstory and what they do, but I love Intel processors.
Intel was holding back the industry as a whole and has been stopping technology as a whole because they're trying to just not actually push boundaries. They're just trying to save money. And it's like that situation really pisses me off. That hurts society as a whole.
Yeah, I guess so. But again, then you think about like, who are you to say if they want to release better ones or slightly better ones? That's totally up to them.
Well, it's for me. It's like if you're,
I agree with you. I think it's shitty. Like release the best shit. I want it all. Like let's fucking progress, baby.
And,
but at the same time, I think it's not fucking my choice.
Yeah,
you know?
And I absolutely agree with that. I think that there is a very very much so like that mindset of being the best company that you've been for a while, and then not allowing other companies to do better than you. And so since you have such a major control over whatever industry, you make certain decisions or certain projects
that sounded like a tricycle putting on its brakes
that are going to hinder other progressions being made. But I think that's a little bit different than replacing jobs with automated jobs.
I'm just saying
it is different, but
no, I agree with you.
If you have a decision to
what's the
change
responsibility?
Things, it's like I feel like if you can change things and better society as a whole, it's kind of your responsibility to push things forward than to.
I just don't know if it is. Like
I feel like it is.
I wish it was. I wish that was how it worked. But people didn't go into this with there being regulations and rules or
a tech computer company like Intel. They absolutely
should. I agree.
Went into creating processors with the intention of progressing the world technologically. That's obvious to me.
It's just
But now, but then they've gotten so big, and whoever I don't even know. I don't know shit about that company, like the ins and outs of it. Or like I don't know what board of people are running it, but there became a point in time where their intentions changed from progressing technologically to money, and it happens a lot with huge companies.
Yeah,
even if it starts out with, well, we can make a lot of money with this. There's almost always like unless you're just a fucking con man, there's always like that intention of progressing or building or growing in some way, shape, or form.
It's like if you're not trying your best because you want to save money or whatever, it's like that pisses me off. It's
staying in the sweet spot or whatever.
Yeah. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, I think for me, I will never like be that mad and want that much change and force responsibility on a company that like it's entirely up to them. It is like
I don't believe in government forced.
I don't think they should be forced.
It's besides banks, besides fucking banks.
I don't either.
Dude,
and
banks
that's the thing.
need regulations. I swear to
God.
God.
But I feel you really quick. I feel you. I wish they would. It would be amazing if that's what they wanted to do. But it's their company. They created this product. Everything they do is entirily up to them. And why should it?
I just feel like if you're,
it's shitty. But like that's
if it gets to the point where it's hurting
that's
things,
free fucking will or free will.
It's like if you're in an industry where you have a major ability to change things for the better, I think that there's somewhat of an obligation. From my perspective, there's an obligation to do that. It's like with the acting industry, like stories. There was all of a sudden in the last 4 years this huge switch from the normal way things have been going to once Oscar So White and all that stuff started happening, people stopped casting, writing, putting forward stories about white protagonists as much, and so I see, from my perspective, a significant drop in auditions and whatnot. But I understand that is ultimately a really positive thing for society as a whole, and it sucks that I have to kind of like reevaluate my position in my career and stuff and try and like find new ways to make cash and whatnot.
That's interesting.
But I see the greater good of telling stories that don't get to be told. And so from my perspective, as somebody who is losing their job because of changes in the industry, I don't know, I kind of applaud it because I think it's a beneficial thing.
And really the only solution as a consumer that is not a part of that company's choice, because it is their choice, is to just support the companies that you feel are making the choices that you agree with, and don't support the ones that aren't.
It's simple as
That's
that. Yeah,
all that you can do.
Buy from the companies that you respect. Yeah.
Or if you don't care like me, buy whatever
That's
the
why
fuck you want.
that's why I never go into
fuck.
Walmart, because Walmart. Well, although I don't know if I necessarily believe in some unionization.
Oh yeah, they're like they're stopping all.
Walmart will literally, if they sense any sign of like a union uprising in any other stores, they'll just close the store down.
Really?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
that's crazy, right?
That is crazy.
It's a weird thing though, because like I grew up in rural Georgia, and it's strange because even I've passed through a lot of different neighborhoods where the only source of cheap food and stuff is Walmart. So it's kind of
Same.
like
Fast food.
Dude, that's where everyone from my hometown goes.
that was
Perth,
my
Ontario,
hometown.
Lanark. Like, you want to go get your cheaper groceries, and people like who just may not make enough money to spend it at these like better places,
Yeah.
but you go to Walmart and you get it for. You live within your means. You can't live above your means. Or
For some people, it's a necessary evil. And
It
it's
is,
like it's
yeah.
really hard to kind of. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like I don't fault anyone for doing what they need to do instead of voting with their
it's
dollar.
a victim to your circumstance, though.
Yeah,
at
it's
that point.
This is something that I feel like I talk about a lot, but I hate when people are like, I'm going to do every single thing I can to stop the man from destroying the world and stuff. It's like you kind of have to pick your battles, because
There's so many factors that go into it. And so many.
in the movie Okja, there's which is fucking incredible, but it had a lot to do with the meat industry and whatnot. They had an example of somebody who was doing every single thing they possibly could to not leave a negative impact on the world, and they were starving themselves because they couldn't eat fruit and vegetables because it would negatively impact the world to a certain degree. And it's like that's he's committing. That's too far. I think you really got to pick your battles.
That's extremism. That's like,
oh yeah,
It's like, yeah, all these liberals who like to preach. It sounds like I'm like attacking a party, but I feel like this is a big like left wing thing where we like to be like, I'm a champion for the underdog and stuff. It's like, yeah, but you're using an iPhone, which is built by like 5-year-old kids. So it's
Dude, people in California are so stupid.
there's a lot of that. It's
There's
like,
so many things where people think they're activists and they're voting for the right thing and doing
it's
the right thing.
okay to be an activist about some stuff and not others.
Do research.
It's just yeah, but you can't claim to be a champion of everything and then support stuff with your money here and
so
there.
many
That's convenience.
policies in California, I don't know about other places, that are so backwards just for a social reason. And it's
and in completely different ways too. Like you look at a right side backwards is like, what are you living in like the 50s, like where, you know what I mean, like where you still see like segregation being like an option, stuff like that, and like and then on the other side of that, on the left side, it's like exactly what you were saying, that backwards, like, do you even understand that you're so against capitalism and you just fucking walked into a store and bought something because you liked the way it looked and it's different than something else you can buy? Because if this was a true socialist thing, that store would have the same stuff as that store.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
both sides make me absolutely fucking.
I don't think all liberals are
incredibly
socialists.
crazy. No, I just
I'm
think
saying
the
like the extremes and the
extremes,
backwards ways that they like are what they're preaching and then like what they're actually standing for.
And it's impossible to talk to either part. And in my experience, like I have a really hard time speaking to like really hard left wing people and really hard right wing people, and I am very close with multiple folks.
I think talking to anyone on each side that's like that has a very strong belief to the point where nothing you say is going to change their mind, whether you're right or wrong.
so close-minded.
It's pointless to talk to them anyway.
Conversations shouldn't even be about changing minds.
No,
because that's like.
But you should be
But
opening.
it's to share information.
Sharing information, getting your best point out, and hoping that
you should be open to having your mind.
I mean,
changed.
there are certain things that
exactly.
Okay, this person needs to change their mind on that, or else fuck them. Like there are certain things where that's the case, but then there are things where it's like, hey, you don't have to do the same things or think the same things that I do. But just chill if I do, and I'll chill if you do.
Yeah, hear each other out.
when you get into an argument, it's not, you shouldn't be going into it thinking that you're going to make them on the other side change their opinion.
'Cause then
It's
you
the
don't listen
goal
to
is
them.
to both get to the right information. That's the goal of an argument.
or
And
just to respect that you can be individual people with differences, and to understand that like their opinion
Wrong.
is. It's hard for me.
Let me tell you why.
It's just it's hard for me to talk to people who refuse to see any other perspective, and there's so much of that stuff right now. It's more like this than it's ever been.
And I feel that so hard, and I feel like you and I had a very similar kind of journey in like the way that we think and stuff like that, because there were times where I considered myself very more liberal on things, and then there were times where I considered myself a lot more conservative on things, and like now I'm very much so comfortably in the middle of hearing people's opinions and understanding that there are actual pros on both sides that are valued
you
and
need gray
are valuable.
areas.
Exactly, like
everything.
Exactly, like there might be something that's going on where I'm like, oh no, I think that like a more right-leaning choice would be right here, and then maybe in this situation more left-leaning choice would be right here. You know what I mean? But it's like even saying that is stupid. It's like just do this because it's the right way to do it,
or do this because it pertains to the side that I have prescribed to, and instead of actually believing in that, you're just doing what you what flag you wave. I don't know, like people in my friends in the South who are hard Republicans, they think that I am the most like cucky liberal person in the entire world.
Well, we think that here too.
Well,
and
you
then,
are.
well, and then over here, I have people are like, you're just a big Republican supporter. Like, no, I hate both of you. Like, you both stress me the fuck out because you're both just as frustrating as each other, and you refuse to admit it. Yep. So I don't mean to like bash everybody, but you got to be more open minded than.
I hope this conversation is not just like boring to everybody listening, politics and stuff. I really enjoy it.
I'm having a good conversation.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's not boring is our second sponsor for the podcast.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. NordVPN, baby.
I
Everybody
just had
needs
10 more things to say.
Everybody needs a VPN. I've been saying it for the longest time. Chad and I even talked about it. Every single person needs a VPN, and you're going to need it more and more coming in time too. Well, NordVPN is another option. They have thousands of servers in 61 and more countries, and they're updated weekly. You can see a live number.
Oh my God, it's growing exponentially.
There's no data logging. Their company is registered in Panama, so that's nice. NordVPN's Chrome browser is lightweight and user-friendly from the first click. It secures your browsing in seconds. Android and iOS apps also are available to secure your mobile browsing experience. I also have a VPN on my phone.
I didn't know you could do that.
In case. Super fast servers, just so you guys know. Even more importantly, they have 24/7 customer support. That's nice. They have live chat and emails available. There's also an automatic kill switch. So if you don't want your VPN online, just cut it. It works even in China. You can bypass the Great Wall of China firewall. There's military-grade encryption. It's compatible with most operating systems, including Windows, Mac, iOS, Android. It has P2P sharing. Unprotected P2P sharing and downloading exposes your IP address to others unless you're using Nord. There's unlimited bandwidth, and it's risk-free. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you want to start protecting your internet experience today with 66% off a 2-year plan by using code PINE, 66% off. You can go to nordvpn.com/PINE.
P-I-N-E.
P-I-N-E, baby. So that's a link in the description.
Actually, I'd love to hear more about just like why I should have a VPN at all, what it does.
I have, I think, some questions that I think I have for stuff like that are stupid. Like, I should have known the answers to certain things getting this far in life and being in a more like digital.
I feel like that's how I am with
like that,
most things. Where like I just I
assume you
I
should
feel like
know more
everybody
than you already
knows
do.
more than I do.
Like a VPN that masks your IP.
It changes your IP address from your location in
So
Los
they don't know who's
Angeles
searching
to
for something.
where you
And
pick.
Okay.
What's the benefit of that?
Well, you can watch. So a lot of stuff is location gated. Like if you wanted to watch something that's on Netflix in England,
Netflix will like if they catch you, they can delete your account. I do know that for
That sucks.
Netflix. Like I've heard about. I've used a VPN to just try that. But
Can I tell you guys how they found a child porn guy who was like in charge of running a website?
And he was using a VPN.
They found a location, and it was the house that he was in. He was younger. He was living with his family, like his parents. They originally thought it was the dad, but they looked. They were able to search his history and his IP address from his computer remotely, and they were seeing what he was looking at wasn't him. Who could it be? They looked at the son's record. Nothing. That's a clear sign.
Oh yeah, because
he was
he masked
using
everything. He never had any like normal IP address history. Damn.
well, fuck that guy.
So he always had a VPN.
So they don't
on?
see his record, but they see that he didn't have anything there.
That's
so that was like a
very
big red flag.
interesting. Yeah.
Interesting. So is there any way to actually look at the VPNs like
No, it's
Even
taking,
the company itself?
It's taking your location and it's putting it on a server somewhere else, so you can be anywhere in the world basically.
So that. Yeah, I mean, if you're not doing anything illegal, then you have like nothing to hide.
I don't think it's
keeping you
not. It's
safe.
not just
funny
for
that
illegal
Privacy
activity.
changes in the future and what people are able to.
Why do you benefit from that then?
I
On the VPN?
benefit from it because sometimes I want to watch movies I shouldn't.
And also,
Really?
you get
That's a
tracked.
strange thing to say.
Oh, well, it sounds bad, but sometimes I want to.
No, he's not talking about weird porn.
I don't really torrent it. Like if I want to go on what's that website?
I still go on
Putlocker?
Putlocker and all that, even without like.
I haven't done it in a long time.
It's
Now I
been a
do
while,
it just
but I
because
have.
I was talking to Chad, and just the way free internet's going down the line, it just seems like it's the right thing, because people used to like for police, for instance, they would have to if they wanted information and they knew where to look, they would have to or what did they have to do? They would have to go around like a certain area and fuck, this
Careful,
is
Vinny's
stupid.
right behind you, so don't back up.
This is really stupid.
I think I know what you're trying to say. Like,
but-
they would have to search IPs in a certain area or something like that to like pinpoint.
But now they can just ask the company or whatever for everything. It's I had this point a long time ago, and I
You mean
completely
like
forgot
they
it.
pay companies to give them information?
I don't
that they
remember. The point of it
collect
is
from you?
that it's just it's slowly becoming more and more confined. And even if you don't have anything to hide, and that's the argument that people use, they're like, I don't have anything to hide. It's like, I don't really feel like having people know things about me. You know, it's
Well,
just
that's true.
it's
Well,
nice to
Target,
it's nice to have some
advertisements and
semblance
stuff.
of privacy.
I agree. Because, I mean, especially now, and especially with what was happening with Facebook, that whole thing where all the stuff was saved, even Facebook messaging with people, even with a deleted account, like the amount of time that they keep that information or something like that, like that's the whole issue. It's like,
Yeah.
well, why does my information have to stay anywhere?
I have
Yeah.
a question though.
What's up?
So say you were watching a bunch of torrented movies, like where you would, if caught, be charged or whatever because it's illegal to like
Did
torrent movies in theaters, and then you got a VPN because like all of us here have torrented movies years ago as well, and you started using a VPN 2 years down the road. Can they bust you for the stuff that you watched because you only started using a VPN when you found out about VPNs?
I have no idea.
So is there even
Honestly,
a fucking point because you
well,
already
well-
watched so many? You know what I mean?
I doubt it. I think you'd have to track the IP while it's torrenting.
Oh really?
I think so.
But
They
it's more.
Can't look at your history.
It's those are for way more than like, you know.
But can
doing-
you get caught for watching a torrented movie 2 years ago? If for some
No, I
reason
I don't know. I'm not
you
sure what
would've
the
been
you got,
statute of
they looked at
limitations
your
is on
stuff
that.
and they saw 2 years ago you torrented 27 movies in a year.
Well, they'd have to be looking at you for another reason. They would never just find that out.
Another
Like,
reason I use like VPNs now is because I still do illegal downloading.
Yeah.
Like if I,
pirate,
but since I have money now, it was when I didn't really have it. I wouldn't even use a VPN. I would just download like a program or something that I really wanted to use.
same. Never
but now
paid for
I
a program.
now I do. I download it first to see if it's something I actually want to use. Like obviously they have free trials, but sometimes they don't. And if they don't, then I will find it on the web. Like if I want to, for FL Studio, for instance, there are some presets and
Yeah, you'll
plugin
pirate it.
stuff that
Yeah.
I buy it afterwards if I like it.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, it's for way more than torrenting too. Like the thing, you're constantly being tracked by like Facebook and whatnot, and when you search for flights, they can and you search for flights within the same state that you are trying to fly from or to.
Did you tell me that?
No.
Did you tell me that?
They'll
if you,
what?
If you,
Chad did. Chad
They'll-
told
they'll
me.
What is it? I
raise-
want to hear it.
they'll because they can see your location, they will raise the price of those flights because you're looking for a flight from where you are. And so if you were to get a VPN, you can change your location to somewhere where that flight wouldn't be like priority, and so they wouldn't like goose the prices up.
Chad
So-
also told me like if you search it more than once, it was when
Yes.
I was looking at Vegas
I saw that. That happened to me.
hotels. When you because if you search it like a bunch of times and you're not buying it and you search it again the next day or something like that, it like whatever the fuck goes on with it all, like they're able to up those prices because they're like,
Mhm.
oh, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna
That happened to me. Linus Tech Tips did a really great video about how
He's
to.
great.
He's
He's
fucking
wonderful.
fantastic.
Liza Minnelli.
That's him. Liza
Koshy.
Minnelli Tech Tips. He did a great video about how to get really cheap flights with a VPN, just kind of showing you. I think the cheapest thing to do was to put your location in your destination state. So like if I was going to Georgia, I would use a VPN to say I'm in Georgia and then find a flight from LA to Georgia. And that's
Interesting.
the cheapest way to
Because
get.
you're like, he's just going home.
Yeah, I ain't looking at him too much.
He's just trying
And
to get
also,
home, man.
if you're looking at your like bank and stuff or like really sensitive information, if you are being tracked, it's good to use a VPN to look at that stuff without being in your homes, and you just kind of protect yourself a little bit more. So there's a lot more.
Maybe I will look into a VPN.
It's really we got to partner with Nord.
Yeah.
They're very useful.
Well, I think eventually if the internet gets to a point where when with your internet prescription, you have to pay for certain services like Google or Netflix, probably not Google. That would help to have a VPN, because then I think I don't remember, it might have been Sword and Scale that I was listening to this. Eventually the internet, with every kid's going to know how to use a VPN, and it's going to become more and more like the Wild West, and the dark web's going to the entire thing is going to be the dark web.
Well, I'm surprised that the US isn't doing their internet with bandwidth-wise, monetarily, like Canada is. Canada is fucking just completely screwing everyone.
Well, that's what's happening
with how they're monetizing bandwidth, and it's always been like that.
Probably why
I don't know if there even is unlimited download for
that's what they're doing
internet in Canada. And like my parents will pay for and we've installed $2,000-$3,000 tower just to get internet, and we're like 45 minutes away from the big city. Jesus. Which isn't that fucking far, and we can only they pay probably I know we were paying roughly $200-$300 a month to get
give it
300 gigs of bandwidth to download and upload combined a month.
Give it a
with
few years.
With speeds of 10 down, 5 up.
They took away the Title II,
we had to,
or the Title II.
Sorry for spitting on you, Steve.
What's it called? To make the internet was once labeled as a utility, and so they couldn't do shit like that. But now that Ajit Pai came in and did all his finger banging the Senate to make that shit go. Get removed. It got rid of the Title II specification, and they can start charging for like they do for cell phone shit, where it's you can only do what we say you can do, and you have to pay extra to go to certain websites or whatever. Yeah. So it's fucking bullshit. All those shenanigans really piss me off. I don't know everything about it, but just looking for 5 minutes, you can see that it's a bunch of dog crap all the way through.
What isn't California?
Yes, they got a really good bill that just went through.
They're about net neutrality, right? Mm-hmm. That they're the whole state's fucking
protecting. Yeah. So it's going to be we're a lot better off here in California.
Because it's still on a state level, or is it on a federal level?
It started on a federal level, and then the states can do their own things to fight the ISPs from.
So would that mean though that if the state fought the federal ruling on it, that federal ruling would go away, or just in that state?
Just in that state.
I think just in that state, because we have
that a federal.
That's why California, we kind of lucked out here, because this place doesn't usually do a lot of the worst regulations that the federal government.
They're pretty good about fighting social stuff like that. And I'm not an expert, so I'm sure somebody's like, that's not correct. But that's not what you sound like.
I always look at podcast comments to see what I said wrong.
Oh, dude.
What fact I talked about.
I'm sure.
Even though I'm always and I don't know, but I'm talking about it like I do know, but even though I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then someone's like, wow, dude, sometimes when James talks, holy shit, he's an idiot. And I'm just like.
That was me commenting that.
You guys should watch before you say something and do a little research before you start talking about shit with your friends.
It's easy for you to say, dude, you can Google it before you write your comment.
Sure about somewhat confidently, but still we know don't really know, but I think that you should know.
And I've decided to watch the next podcast.
And honestly,
I will be subscribed.
But honestly, guys, big fan of your stuff.
Yeah, if you go in and you're like, hey, that hurt my feelings, or like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't think you'd ever see this.
You wanted to talk about a movie, and then afterwards, I want to talk to you guys about the SpiderMan game.
So I actually have,
I just started playing last night.
Watched a movie recently that was recommended to me by Natalia, aka Toy in Her.
I fucking love her. She's so sweet.
And at first I didn't think anything of it, but then I was in bed.
On the podcast.
And and I was looking through just Amazon Prime, and I saw the movie, and I realized it was Logan Marshall Green. Yeah, and I kind of liked him in Prometheus, so I thought.
I like him. Have you seen The Invitation?
Oh, no,
dude,
he's in The Invitation?
See The Invitation, dude.
That movie's good.
One of the best indie movies of last year.
Yeah. Is that the one where everybody... Never mind. But yeah, I've seen it. Now that I think about it.
Everybody fucking dies.
Is that the one where everybody's a gray alien?
Yeah, so...
It's the Draconians walk in halfway through and they fight.
Let me just pitch Upgrade to you guys real quick, because it's a B movie, but it's glorified, and it hits all the markers that it needs to, and it's so satisfying. It's an amazing revenge story, and Logan Marshall Green is amazing in it. Like there's a scene where I'll pitch the IMDb summary to you. Basically,
Do you want to read it?
it's a futuristic movie. Yeah, Jamie, you want to read it?
Set in the near future, technology controls nearly all aspects of life.
Wait.
But when Gray, a self-identified technophobe, has his world turned upside down, his only hope for revenge is an experimental computer chip implant called STEM.
This summer.
Wait, you didn't read the rest of it?
Oh, yes, I did.
No,
Motherfucker.
that's right. Wait, hold on, go back up.
Oh, it's the whole movie.
So here's after a mugging incident.
Director/writer.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll do my version of that.
After a mugging incident leaves him paralyzed and his wife dead, STEM proves to possess its own agency, making for an unpredictable ally in Trace's vendetta.
It's a great revenge story, and the violence in it is cool.
That
I'm
almost
very excited to watch that movie.
It's very good.
that almost sounds like Tao that was on Netflix. That was like about like putting personalities and computer shit. That fucking movie was so bad. Dude.
It reminds me more of that first-person movie that
Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore Henry. It reminds me a little bit like that. It's a really fun movie. I just wish they had a bigger budget for it. It was very, very fun. Highly
yeah.
recommend it. Thank you, Natalia, for introducing me to that
Before
movie.
really wanna watch
Spider-Man,
that.
I have a really good movie that I watched over the weekend that I'm curious if you guys have ever seen. It was about aliens coming down to Earth in these fucking bean-shaped pods, and they were floating
Arrival.
above Arrival.
Dude.
I just saw it for the first time.
Oh yeah,
So good.
It's an Oscar-winning
So
movie.
good. Oh really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was
Cool.
fucking
I
great.
think my
When-
brother showed me. It was
Did it-
fucking good.
I think it
man.
won more than one Oscar.
Yeah.
Amy Adams
It
was
was
snubbed.
really good.
What's that?
Amy Adams was snubbed.
No,
Amy
Who
Adams.
won that year? Was it the person from Room? Or was that the year before?
I'm not sure.
Room was
Brie
amazing,
Larson's
too.
Room was-
fucking phenomenal,
oh my
dude.
God, dude, yeah.
She's so good. I
But
watched
what-
Room a couple weeks ago. Felt it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't really like
That ruined my
Yeah.
day. I saw it in the morning, and the rest of the day I was just thinking, and I didn't need to do that.
very real. Like, I love how much, and I'm just going to speak a little bit on this in case anyone hasn't seen Room, but I definitely recommend it. It deals with the aftermath of a traumatic experience really well. It's not just, the build up to freedom or something. It deals a lot with the aftermath of that, which I think isn't done enough in movies.
And even in like different genres too, they end in such a weird, like
What's that happily ever after?
When you want to know what the fuck
satisfying
happened.
area.
Yeah, I
It's
hate
either
that, dude.
a ending where like at the end of Predators with
or the
Adrian Brody.
woods.
Yeah.
At kind of, yeah.
kind of.
We did it.
Oh my god. In the Predators, when Adrian Brody and the girl are still alive, look up, more pods coming down with like different people, and they're like, "Well, here we go again."
Yeah,
and it's just
dude.
like,
Yeah.
and it's just like,
Well, that's why the movie,
on.
that's why the Graduate has such a brilliant ending, because it's like you're kind of, that happily ever after thing isn't really.
it's like, okay, here's the happily ever after, and then.
But
what
here's
happens
reality,
right after
yeah.
that. It's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I went and took her, and we ran away from the wedding. Oh my god, we're gonna be together forever. All right, let's get on the bus.
It's so brilliant. I love the story behind.
What do
that
we do
too.
now?
Yeah.
Like, what's the next conversation we have?
Have you heard the story behind that shot?
No.
So that wasn't intentional. It was originally supposed to be this like drive into
Happy
the
ending.
sunset situation, but he just kept the cameras rolling, and they thought the shot was over. So they
they
were just dropping character, and you can see them look at the director and stuff. But like it made for like one of the
Wow.
most brilliant endings to a
Huh.
movie. But it was kind of an accidental thing.
That's
Just
so
like,
cool.
All right,
Wow.
waiting for them to call cut, and that was fucking amazing.
Cut.
There it is.
Spider-Man.
Yes.
Dude, so good.
You need to get it. Or we have a boys' day in here, and I'll bring it in here, and we'll play it on the TV.
Yeah,
fun.
dude. We'll
That'd be fun.
stream it. We'll
yeah.
stream it. We'll stream it.
Never gonna stream anything but Spider-Man.
But Spider-Man.
Well, we were talking about doing the last weekend of every month a different thing on the couch, and that could be Spider-Man. It's a new game. It's popular. It's good. People
I don't
kissy
know.
noises.
I don't know if I'd ever want to play another game for video other than Spider-Man, and the other games we played on Let's Pine. But that was like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and
Oh yeah,
the World's Hardest Game,
dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
we're
that's
big gamers.
so funny, dude.
But Spider-Man is amazing, truly amazing. Spider-Man.
Scared me.
Oh,
How did you hit
okay?
the thing, dude?
You okay?
went
Clint?
through it. I went through it.
Is your tooth
chipped?
broke?
It's longer.
Yeah, it just keeps going down.
She's okay.
It pulled it out.
Dude, it's so good though because it feels like the old like superhero games. You know, like the open world type of shit. Like Spider-Man 3 was such a fun game, even though the movie sucked.
Spider-Man
actually,
2
no, I still
had
love
the best
movie.
swinging, and this feels like Spider-Man 2 swinging.
It's like the true like, yeah, it's like
The speed ramp.
and like so much.
falls a bit, too.
The fighting is super smooth and like all the combos and shit, all the moves you could do, all like the different ways to get around besides just swinging. Like there's like the pull to here and jump off shit. Like it's very fluid and smooth. All the movement and stuff, and
It
the
does
graphics are amazing.
Yeah.
all the story is really
Does
cool.
it feel like GTA, the graphics? Because I saw one clip of like
Yeah,
Spider-Man
a
kicking a
little
dude off
bit.
a bridge off of his
It's
bike.
better than that, I think.
And I was like,
Yeah, it's
don't
definitely better than
know.
like GTA 5 because GTA 5 was like what 2013 now.
they're certainly getting a lot of life out of that game, man.
Oh yeah,
I just have a hard
it
time
is.
playing anything that's not on PC. You know.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll.
I mean, I
know.
honestly
No,
only
it's
play.
just for Xbox and
yeah.
PS4.
No, it's only PS4.
Yes, it's a
exclusive.
PlayStation.
Sorry, I was thinking of Kingdom
Dude.
Hearts 3.
That's not a PlayStation.
It's going to be Xbox and PS4.
Not even out.
Oh well, PlayStation has amazing exclusive games.
Yes, dude.
Like they're
God of
killing
War.
it. God of War,
Yeah.
Bloodborne, Spider-Man. Like they have great. I don't even know exclusive Xbox games. Halo.
Grape
got a lot
Turismo.
of-
Dude, who gives a shit
Yeah.
about Halo at this
But,
point?
like-
I don't even think it's Xbox exclusive at this. It might still be. I don't know.
And they got
I
a
think
bunch
so.
of cool
I
looking
think it
games
is.
coming out from the looks of it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Cyberpunk.
Oh,
That's
the
all I'm
new
gonna say
yeah,
about that.
Cyberpunk looks sick. There's the new From Software game which does Bloodborne and Dark Souls. It's called like Shinkaru or something. It's
Oh,
like a
yeah.
samurai type of thing, but it's that same style of game, and
Oh, cool.
I'm excited for that.
That looks dope.
Everyone thought it was going to be Bloodborne 2, but nope. Next
A
year.
new
Oh
IP.
yeah.
A new IP.
What's that?
IP.
And
In
what's the new
like
IP?
a new property.
Oh, yeah.
Days Gone looks
What
good.
does that stand for?
Days Gone does look
I
good.
forget what the I stands
Very
for, but
good.
everyone just like if it's not a sequel or something, it's a new IP.
Yeah. What was the one that you said?
Days Gone.
It's like
Oh, yeah.
Looks pretty good.
Looks
Looks like a fun game.
I think it'd be
intelligent
fun.
property.
Probably intellectual property.
Independent property.
Intellectual property.
Intellectual
Jesus
property.
Christ,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was so
Intellectual
difficult to get
property.
to.
And I'm really excited for the new Spyro.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
dude.
Reignited trilogy.
Yes.
Dude, I cannot get excited for that.
Did you play it as a
Did you
kid?
play it?
No, that's why.
That's exactly why.
It's super
yep.
nostalgic.
I played it as a kid, and I used to play it on like emulators on my computer.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
definitely one of those games though that even though you've never played it as a kid, you could jump on it and go, "Oh yeah, I could
Especially
see
with
how
the new
this is a
graphics, you'll probably be
classic."
like, "Oh, this is fun."
Oh, well, no, I'm not excited for anything because after 10 years, they finally announced the release date for Kingdom Hearts 3. It's like in January, I think, possibly. I
that's
don't
gonna be
remember.
cool.
I
But
never played
they
the
added
first
Big
one.
Hero 6 to it.
Oh,
So that's going to be fucking
That's
great.
I
cool.
never really played the originals. I tried to play it a couple years
I
ago.
only
It was
played the
like-
one on
Oh,
Game Boy
You'd
actually.
have to play it when you were
I
a
need
kid.
On
Kingdom
Game
Hearts?
Boy Advance. Yeah. I think
Never
Kingdom
played
Hearts was
any of
on-
it. When I was in Canada this week, and my brother had Kingdom Hearts on PlayStation 2, and I was like, "Huh, you ever played that?" He's like, "Just played it yesterday."
What, does he like it?
He's like, "Yeah, it was really cool. I can't wait to keep playing it." I was like, "Why have I?" He's like,
Yeah, it's really cool, man.
Wait, what the fuck is
Seth Rogen. You trying to do
What's
Seth
his laugh?
Rogen? Seth Rogen. Is that who you're trying to do?
Yeah.
Okay, because you didn't say.
That's really good.
Wait, what's the line?
You sound like
But
an
not
old
the inhale.
Buick trying
He
to
inhales. He does.
What's like
inhale.
what's a line? Oh yeah, the. What's a line I could say? No.
get to the chopper.
No, a line that he says.
I'm sure he said that at some point.
What's that one from when he's in the garage? He's like,
every day.
Oh yeah.
no, don't
Okay.
do that.
No.
It's-
No, don't get your gun. Why is he gonna get a gun? Don't get a gun.
Close.
Okay.
Close, but it's more Kermit the Froggy.
All right. Go to a hotel. Give him a fake name. All right. Well, what's the name? I don't know. The garage
You
lease.
sound like Rick.
You used to
From
do
Rick
it
and
better.
Morty.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know.
Well,
Damn, dude.
Maybe it's because I'm hearing it, so it's throwing me
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
doing yourself.
Maybe we're hearing it, so it's throwing me off.
That's Kermit still.
Pass the doobie.
Hold on. This might be it.
what are you doing? You're just mouthing
Then
out
you're gonna-
words. I can't. Okay, before I have a panic attack, I think this is where we're gonna cut it off. This has been episode 56. Dude, Jamie, you gotta stop.
Like a witch, dude.
Just so you guys know,
He's a siren.
you can follow us on official SP7 on Twitter. What's our Instagram?
Official SP7.
Official SP7 as well. We have a subreddit. It's r/sugarpine7. We also have a PO box. You can find that in the description down below. We've got merch out right now. What do we have?
Baby. So we are going to be releasing a brand new little collection that's coming out. Actually, it might be out by the time this podcast is out. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember the date exactly.
Quote him.
It's a really cool collection. Last week you saw me wearing a red flannel. That's part of it. We've also got a black long sleeve shirt, a white Axe logo shirt, and a really cool kind of like a faded green with a pine tree.
That's my favorite
interesting
one.
fit. It's a really cool collection that we have. You guys are gonna love it.
Check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
If you
We've
want to
got
look
some
fucking
great
cool,
stuff.
buy the shit.
And
you
also,
don't want to look cool? Fuck it.
Also, big thank you to our sponsors for the podcast, Bespoke Post and NordVPN. Thank you guys for keeping us alive.
Thank you.
And thank you to the third camera.
Thanks, 30.
30.
That's what we'll call him. 30.
We'll see you guys.
Fucking about there. How's she fucking gone, 30?
Hey, how's she fucking, girl?
We'll see you next week. I wanted to talk about Jamie's ass and the way he gets it to look so thick. Jamie, you have a better ass than any guy I've ever seen, and that's not just a compliment. That's a real fact that I believe that we all believe in.
I like how you're saying it as if it's a personal aggression towards you.
Well, yeah, Steve's angry about it because he's
it's
unable
despite
to
No ass.
obtain the same ass.
That's true. Also, Jamie grew that ass in his basement.